In the waning years of the Wars of the Roses, a conflict that had torn England apart for decades, two remarkable women emerged from the shadows to orchestrate an unlikely end to the turmoil. Margaret Beaufort and Elizabeth Woodville, both wielding intelligence and political acumen, crafted a plan that would unite the warring factions and bring about a new era of peace. Margaret Beaufort, a woman of formidable resilience, had lived much of her life under the clouds of political instability. Her son, Henry Tudor, a descendant of John of Gaunt, held a tenuous claim to the English throne. Margaret worked and manoeuvred tirelessly, believing Henry was the rightful king. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Woodville, the widowed queen consort of Edward IV and mother to the young princes in the Tower, faced her own challenges. She was forced into sanctuary at Westminster Abbey. Her remaining children were claimed illegitimate by the Duke of Gloucester, later Richard III. Her focus was now on preserving her daughters' lives and securing their future. A marriage would effectively end the war by uniting the two houses for the first time, as well as securing power, position, and a future for Elizabeth and Margaret. As Richard III seized the throne under dubious circumstances, Margaret and Elizabeth saw their opportunity to oust the usurper. Secretly, they arranged an alliance through the marriage of Margaret's son, Henry, heir to House Tudor, and Elizabeth's daughter, Elizabeth, heiress of House York. Their machinations began in earnest during December 1483. The two women, despite their disparate beginnings, Margaret from a Lancastrian lineage and Elizabeth from a staunchly Yorkist family, found common ground in their desire for stability and safety for their respective heirs. The plan to unite the rival houses of Lancaster and York through this strategic marriage was both bold and precarious. Would the deeply ingrained hostilities between these factions allow for such unity? In 1485, as Henry Tudor amassed support and prepared to challenge Richard III, Margaret advised him with wisdom born of experience, ensuring that the promise of marriage to Elizabeth of York was well known. This planned union was pivotal. It symbolized the end of war and the beginning of the Tudor dynasty. The final act in the Wars of the Roses took place at the Battle of Bosworth Field. For Margaret and Elizabeth's plan to succeed, all hope rested on the shoulders of Henry Tudor. Henry at last emerged victorious. Richard III lay dead, and with his death, the flames of civil war were finally extinguished. Margaret's son was crowned Henry VII, and the marriage soon followed. Elizabeth Woodville, having seen the union of her daughter to the new king, knew her efforts had borne fruit. Though their contributions are often overshadowed by more famous male counterparts, the roles Margaret Beaufort and Elizabeth Woodville played were crucial. Historians now recognise that without their strategic alliance, the Wars of the Roses might have stretched on, causing further division and bloodshed in England. As the new dynasty took root, Margaret continued as a key advisor to her son, while Elizabeth gradually retreated from public life. Their legacy, however, was set, one often overlooked: two women who dared to believe in a vision where once there was only chaos, and who worked tirelessly to make it a reality. Hit the like and subscribe for more content from Tales of Roses Past, your one stop for royal history.